Vibes and jibes, that's the focus of tonight's angle. All right, tonight, as we suspected, it's clear that Kamala Harris intends to stress personality and personal jabs over policy and substance. Now, since Pelosi forced Biden out of the race, this has been the Democrats' strategy.
If it ends up being a debate purely on him being able to say you wrecked the economy and you wrecked the border, that is not a win for her. It has to be about him behaving badly.
She needs to be joyful. She needs to be energetic. She needs to be, because this is showbiz. This is not a policy debate. It is all showbiz.
Yeah. That's very respectful of women and their intelligence. Look, they've all but conceded that they can't win on the merits, which is why most of the time Kamala sounds more like she's auditioning for the Food Network rather than for the White House. Now, in the first 3 years of the Trump administration, real median household incomes measured in 2023 dollars rose $7,690, or 10.5%. These numbers just came out. In the first 3 years of Biden-Harris, however, incomes only rose $1,050, or 1.3%. So the amount of the increase in Trump's first 3 years is over 7 times greater than in the Biden-Harris first 3 years. Now, you're not going to hear any numbers from Kamala Harris tonight. That's my prediction, or very few numbers. Numbers aren't her friend. This is why she doesn't want to talk about the economy or how to fix this mess. Everyone knows, for the most part, they feel poorer. Last year, the median household income was lower than it was in 2019. So only in Kamala world would that qualify as some type of progress. And the Harvard-Harris poll I referenced this last night, it was just released, shows the ugly reality in the crosstabs. Now, one section's titled, "Perceptions Toward the Economy Remain Pessimistic." 63% think we're on the wrong track. 62% say it's weak. And 48% say their financial situation is just getting worse. Well, obviously, there's just no debating the fact that on this most important point to American voters, President Trump has the far better case. And thus, in response, all the vice president can do is showcase her tough girl-tude, throw mud, and repeat long debunked lies about Donald Trump. Stuff about January 6th and Charlottesville. But tonight is the night for Donald Trump to remind people that it doesn't have to be this way anymore. And thinking about this, it's really not that difficult. Just tell the voters that we do not have to live with all of this failure. We can have prosperity. We can have peace again. Look, his team and he did it once before. They can do it again. But she's going to try to deflect from her record and her extreme views. Trump, though, just needs to keep redirecting the conversation and returning to the issues that matter most to people. Don't get sidetracked. Tonight, you're going to likely hear Kamala claim the mantle of sacrifice and accuse Trump, as she did during the DNC, of being self-centered. This is more nonsense. Now, just ignore it if you're Trump. But it got me thinking, what personal sacrifice has Kamala Harris ever made for the country? She was put on a glide path to her positions in California as Attorney General by a powerful political figure, Willie Brown. And after a horrid primary in 2019, she was still made VP. And then, after 3 lousy years as vice president, she was handed the Democrat nomination without a primary after a coup against Joe Biden. And while we're on this issue, by the way, I have covered politics for decades. Yeah, decades. And I have never, and I mean never, seen any candidate fight harder and sacrifice more personally than Donald Trump has done for the privilege of serving the American people. Now, when he started in politics, President Trump vowed to expose and drain the swamp. Oh, and the establishment didn't like that at all. And for that, he incurred the wrath of the deep state, corrupt judges, and the professional political class. Now, before he was nearly assassinated, they surveilled him, they concocted the phony Russian narrative, they damaged his business interests, they harassed his family, his friends, put some of them in jail. It was constant lawfare, and they are still hoping to put him in jail. That's what he sacrificed. And they did this to him because he believes in one thing. This is what we've been debating about for really last 9 years. That this government is supposed to be of, by, and for the people. It should not be run into a ditch or a ravine or off a cliff by a cabal of people, the same people who displaced Joe Biden. Many of them are unelected, by the way, who don't care what the voters want. Kamala's team is so checked out on policy, by the way, that when they finally decided to put some policies on her website, they were caught lifting entire sections in the metadata of Biden's old policies from his website and just placing them on hers. Whoops. Will they give it to some intern? I think it said in the coding, support Joe Biden. It's like, oops, we got to switch that out real fast. And finally, here's my final piece of advice. Donald Trump should do something he didn't do in the last debate. Well, two things, really. Go over and shake Kamala Harris's hand, call her Vice President Harris or my opponent. I wouldn't call her Kamala or the wrong name. Then actually ask Americans watching for their votes. Ask for their votes. It is a great blessing and a privilege to be president and to run for the presidency. So why not say so? I know he thinks that. And end it by giving everyone hope that together we're going to turn this around. And by the way, turning it around is going to be fun. We're going to have a fun time doing it. Thinking about this and the importance of tonight and what's going to happen on Election Day, this could be the greatest political comeback of all time, both for Trump and for the country. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.